It has taken so much work to get where we are, and the boys are sufficient and everything. And even like the other day, like ordered some number plates, you know, for my son's motocross bike, and those things came, and I just assumed I was gonna have to put the graphics on like I always have had to as a dad. And I don't know why I'm so emotional, but this means something to me. And Connor, if you see this, yesterday I came out to the shop to put those numbers on his bike, and jeez, they're already on. You guys ready for a little story time? Okay, I was supposed to be riding right now this bike, KTM 250XC, but I'm not because it's April 30th and it's raining outside. So I'm gonna do the next best thing. I took the bike out of the trailer, or not trailer, out of the truck, and I'm gonna do an oil change on this thing, and we're gonna have a little bit of story time. Now, as some of you may know, I'm a big fan of the no drip oil change, and especially on these two strokes, it's pretty easy to do because you've got your oil plug down here, and somebody made me one of these handy dandy tools here, which is just this cool thing. This threads in to the bike, and then this hose comes over and you can drain the oil out. This makes it so I can do a no drip oil change. So I'll just take this, it's a 13 millimeter bolt on the oil plug on most of these KTMs for quite a long time. You got an oil crush washer, and you've got a brass crush washer. Oh, and I dropped it. There it is. And here's one thing we're looking for, making sure that's not dripping oil. So on your oil plug, you're gonna have, I don't know if this will focus. Come on, man. No, it's not wanting to focus. See, there's some grime on this. These are metal shavings. That's a magnet there on that guy, and that will collect metal shavings. So this is, I think, maybe the first time I've changed the oil on this bike. I like to change the gear oil after after maybe 2 or 3 motor hours, and I've only ridden this bike a couple times, and I don't think I had changed the gear oil. So this is gonna be the first gear oil change. Just seeing what that, I guess that's just water that's dripping. Anyway, here's the story time for you guys. Many years ago, I didn't know anything about dirt bikes, right? And just on a whim, I grew up, a lot of you guys know, I grew up riding four-wheelers. And my dad had some dual sport motorcycles and stuff around, so I got my motorcycle driver's license on the day I turned 16 and got my actual driver's license. I'm gonna lift the bike up. We're gonna drain a bunch of oil out of here. So I grew up around motorcycles, but I wasn't a dirt biker. I did four-wheelers. To be honest, I was just kind of scared. That oil still looks great though. I was just kind of scared of dirt bikes, to be honest, because the dirt bikes that I'd been around, I remember being around my buddy Scott's, like CR65, or I guess it would have been a CR85 or whatever. And those little two strokes were freaking, I'm gonna take this oil cap off the other side with my right hand. Those little bikes were just like on-off switches, and I thought they were so freaking scary. They were just violent, right? The way that the power would hit, and I was just intimidated by them, you know? And then, so I was riding four-wheelers. My dad bought this little Suzuki 230 little four-wheeler, had no suspension, no anything on it. And I started riding that when I was 6. And then we got a Yamaha Warrior when I was a little older. And then when I got to be 16 and I had a job, I got myself a 1998 Yamaha Banshee. So that was, for those of you guys that know, that was a two-stroke, or yeah, it was a two-stroke 350 twin cylinder. I'm gonna try to do this without dripping oil on my rug. Twin cylinder 350 cc two-stroke, right? Yamaha used to make those. They don't make them now. But that was, and I rode the wheels off that thing. I rode it basically every day for 3 years until I sold that thing when I was 19. Loved that machine, had so much fun on it. But it was my only experience with two strokes, and it was freaking awesome. And then fast forward, you know, I get married, I go to college, I start a family, all that stuff. And I had a bullet bike. I had a 2003 Yamaha R6 bullet bike, right? Sport bike. And that thing was a ton of fun, but the insurance was too expensive once I got married and all the things. It was too expensive no matter what. Like, to insure a young man on a bullet bike, it was like $2,000 every 6 months or something. It was insane. So, because so many kids die on those. But anyway, fast forward to when I turned 30, and that's when I finally decided. I'd been hearing from a bunch of different friends about how amazing dirt bikes are and how much fun they are. And I was like, dude, I just had that thing rattling around in the back of my head. And I just went out and I bought the wrong bike. I bought a 2009, so the year is 2010, and I buy a leftover 2009 Yamaha YZ450F. Got a really good deal on it because that was in 2010, was the model year that they went to fuel injection on that bike. So now I've got a 2009, where'd that crush washer go? There we go. I bought a 2009 carbureted 450 motocross bike because the guys at the dealership said this is the best deal here. You know, totally stupid. They almost killed my desire to ride motorcycles, as many of you know. That was literally the worst possible thing that I could have done. And so many years on my YouTube channel, where's my socket? Oh, right here. So many years on my YouTube channel, I basically dedicated so many videos to don't buy a 450, don't buy a 450. And I stand by that. Like, almost no one needs a 450, you know, and no one really can handle the power of a 450 unless your name is Eli Bloody Tomac. You know, even most of the like guys who are on race teams, they kind of detune those 450s. But anyway, there's a ton of guys that still think they want a 450 and still think they need the power, but no one needs it. But some people really like it, you know, to each their own. Anyway, and I had that 450. It nearly killed my desire to ride. I had it for a couple of years and things just weren't working out great. And I almost quit. But then, as luck would have it, by the way, I've got 800 milliliters of Reverend Motors 1050 motor oil in here. That's what I put in these bikes. But then, as luck would have it, in 2012, I'm at a trade show in Las Vegas, and I'm just kind of sitting there talking to people and everything with my job, and I'm like, I just had this idea. I'm like, I want to sell that 450, and before I give up on dirt bikes, I've been hearing about these KTM 300 two-strokes, and I was like, I like that Yamaha Banshee. Maybe I should get a KTM 300 and just try that. So I get that bike. It's a 2012 KTM 300. It's a 2012 KTM 300 XCW. The bike changed my life. And now here we are, let's see, in 2012 to 2025. We're 13 years later, and dirt bikes took over my life. All my boys ride, my kids all ride to varying levels. And I got a son who races a little mini motocross series. I've got a other son who comes out, and now we're all on full-size bikes. It's crazy, like just, and I don't do a ton of track riding, But a couple weeks ago, I took the boys and we were now all of us on full-size bikes because my 14-year-old son is riding this 125 over here that we spent the winter kind of redoing. And it was a pretty like moving moment for me as a father, because I'm like, it has taken so much work and so much effort to get here. As some of you moto dads know, like how much effort and work. See, that's the no drip oil change. But it takes, and then I'm gonna just stick this to my toolbox over here and let that funnel continue to just drip out into my trash. But it has taken so much work to get where we are, and the boys are sufficient and everything. And even like the other day, like ordered some number plates, you know, for my son's motocross bike, and those things came, and I just assumed I was gonna have to put the graphics on like I always have had to as a dad. And I don't know why I'm so emotional, but this means something to me. And Connor, if you see this, yesterday I came out to the shop to put those numbers on his bike, and geez, they're already on. He put his own graphics on. This sounds so dumb to get like that emotional about graphics on a dirt bike. He did a great job. We had done it together several times. I'd helped him. This time, he just did it all on his own. And he can, at least when we're talking about tracks, he's so much faster than me. He jumps better than me. He's so much better, you know, on a track. And now he's putting on his own graphics, and I'm just like, oh gosh, this sport of dirt bikes, it's really changed my life. I love them. I love these things. Like, I see this motorcycle on a stand. This isn't just, and I don't know why the hell you would be watching this on YouTube. I don't know why. And I don't know why I'm so emotional, but it's because I care. Like, I care about these machines. I'm not the best rider. I'm not the best mechanic. I'm not the best teacher. I'm not the best at anything. Like, I'm not the best at any of this stuff. I'm just a guy who loves these things, who loves what they mean. I love how they make you feel. I love how hard it is. And at times in my life, I've ridden harder stuff and lighter stuff, but this means something to me. And it's given me something, and it's given my boys something, and it's given my family something that I don't know where else we could have gotten it. You know, we do a lot of basketball, we do other sports, and we do a lot of different things, but this is just the thing that has just kept us together. It's kept us working out. It's kept us strong. It's kept us fit. And like a lot of the very best memories that I've had in the last 12 or 15 years are because of these things. And at any one moment in this shop, you can find bikes at certain levels of repair. Like, I wanted to replace the battery in my son's 125 over here, and I ended up buying a, you know, anti-gravity battery. These restart batteries, these things are amazing, but the thing is just barely too big. It's just barely too big. So I bought this at Rocky Mountain ATV. I'm gonna keep this and find another application to put it in, but it looks like it's the same size, but it's not. So then I ordered another, just the stock battery for that bike. The point is, there's always some project that I'm doing. And what's cool now is it's like, especially on the KTMs and stuff, I've gotten to the point where if I'm doing a certain project, I don't even have to look at the bolts. I know what bolts. I know that I've got 10 millimeters here, you know, in my fender, in my radiator shrouds. I know if I'm gonna change the oil, I need a 13 millimeter for that drain plug. I know that if I'm gonna change, you know, if I'm gonna take off the rear wheel, I've got a 30 millimeter nut back here. They've changed. Sometimes they've been 28, sometimes they've been 32. The current ones, it's a 30 millimeter. I know if I'm going for the front, I'm gonna have 10 millimeter bolts down here. I've got a 17 millimeter on the side. But I'm not the best mechanic, but like I love these things. I love that I know, like it's part of me. I know that if I'm doing a rear disc guard down here, I'm going to need an 11 millimeter. It's the funniest thing. It's like there's no other place on the bike that there's an 11 millimeter, but I'll need an 11 millimeter socket to get one of those posts off. But this has just gotten into my blood and gotten into my heart and into my soul. And so many of you are probably like that. And what I've tried to do is just share my experience along the way. I've never had viral videos. I've never, there's a couple videos that have done better than others, but most of my videos hardly get any views because I'm not watching what's trending out there. I'm just like, hey, this is what we're doing. And maybe sometimes that was on a Honda CRF 50 or a KTM 50 or a KTM 65 or 85, or we get it. And then I've bought some other different bikes like TMs and Kawasaki's and Hondas and Shercos and all these other things because I'm interested in it. And they've just really kept my interest in a way that nothing else has. I played guitar, I've shot guns, I've shot archery, but this stuff, I've flown airplanes. These things have just taken over my life, and maybe they've taken over yours. And instead of out there riding, I just changed the oil on this sucker, and then I decided to make a blog / whatever this is, vlog, I don't know. These aren't even interesting. But what you can tell is I love dirt bikes. I give dirt bikes away. This bike will be a sweepstakes bike in June, and we'll give this sucker away to a very lucky person, and they're gonna get an incredible bike. Anyway, I love you guys. If you want to support what's happening here, use the link down in the video description for Rocky Mountain ATV. They've been a fantastic partner. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it does give a kickback to this channel, to me, puts food on the table for my kids, keeps the lights on in this shop, and it makes it so that we can continue to give bikes away. So every couple months, I'm doing dirt bike sweepstakes where I give these things away. This one will be the next bike. I've got to do that. Anyway. I love you guys. I love these machines. If you're still watching by the end of this, like, I don't know what you're doing, like life choices, man. But if you want to have a phone call, I do calls multiple times a week with people, helping them to understand what to buy. You're getting back into the sport. What bike is right for you? Should you get a Beta? Should you get a KTM? Should you get a Sherco? Should you get a Kawasaki, Honda, whatever? And depending on what your situation is, how tall you are, how old you are, how much you weigh, like all of these things are factors. What you want to do with the bike, and I have had thousands of these conversations, and I'm well equipped to answer these questions for you as you get back into the sport. It's probably the thing that I can offer the very most is you're getting into the sport. What's your first bike? What gear should you buy? It's your second bike. What do you want to do? What are your goals? And I can help with those conversations, and I'm good at that for sure. So I love you guys, and hopefully the sun will come out and I can ride this bike soon. So I'm not the best at any of this stuff, but one thing you can't fault me on is, like, I care. I really care. I'm honest. I've run my business with integrity because I'm trying to teach my sons and my daughters what it is to make a difference in the world and to be a force for good in the world. That's it, man. Okay, that's enough rambling. Until next time, leave a single track.